Speaking of gold,
indeed,
week before last, as a result of the expected/unexpected invasion of Ukraine, went up 19, nearly hit 2,000, didn't it? And then
1970 we went to, and it
then fell off the perch.
Yeah,
but last week picked up again.
And I think that's in it. How can I explain? We're looking at a situation where, and we'll just go back to the left-hand chart, and you can see it more clearly on the 4-hourly chart, where this is where gold initially took off, and this was all related to. Let me just drag that back up there so I can see what I'm doing. All related to when Putin actually announced military operations into the Ukraine, and off it took. And the 4-hourly chart, you can see the intensity with which gold took off. It became the safe haven. It was the safe haven where everybody was just going, and I think if you look at a Bitcoin chart at the same time, you'll see it was either just ranging or it was starting to drop away. And I think one of the points I'm just trying to make here is that clearly over the last couple of years, people are trying to say that crypto is going to replace gold as a safe haven. And I've resisted that explanation for quite some time now, as if anybody's been listening to me to sort of like going, oh, no, Bitcoin really isn't your alternative digital gold. It is because there is no intrinsic value. And because there is intrinsic value with gold, that's where we saw when the rubber hit the road and it really started to dump really hard. That's where you saw gold take off, and there it went. Where it came back, flying back down again in just as quick succession. And this wasn't a case of going up the staircase and coming or jumping out the window or down the lift or down the elevator shaft. It was straight down after Biden said, well, actually, no, you're not going to get away with that, Mr. Putin. This is what's going to happen. And we then went into this period of an incredible range, which was quite unusual. I guess if you sit back now and you have a look at that and go, okay, we've got an ascending triangle here, but we've not quite taken off. As soon as you go 2 steps forward, it seems to be 1 or 2 back, and it's just been that chopping, changing, ranging style for the entire last week until we sort of had this pop on the last 8 hours of trade on Friday. And that's all we've had. Whether that continues, because if you come over here and have a look at the daily chart, the size of the bars are quite huge. So what I'm trying to also point out is that whilst it looks like it's ranging, the volatility within gold as it flicks backwards and forwards, and it's got nothing to do with any kind of news that's coming out. NFPs were on Friday night, and it barely took any notice of the numbers. It went down and came back up. It just wasn't interested. So then we've got these huge moves, and it's all fundamentally related, and any geopolitical influences that are going on out there in the marketplace are what are the drivers that are moving this market at quite a speed. So that's what we're looking at. All you need to do is look at this last week, where it looks like an absolute pack of poo ticket. We've had ranging. The range before it happened, before Putin invaded us, or all anticipating some kind of move. Then we had this volatility with people invading another, or a dictator invading another country, and the world reacting to it, how we're going to play that out, and just a very slow grind move up. But just look at the size of those tails, because it's all just the same. And on a technical basis, okay, you can say we've had a break of a level of resistance, went and hit R1, came back down, retested the level of break, and then it's taken off, and we've had an ascending triangle, and it's all very nice. But when it's happening, and all you need is somebody to make a comment or make a move or blow up target a nuclear plant, largest nuclear plant, by the way, in the Ukraine, that's when you're starting to get some movement. So this is really at the moment you really need to put your crash helmet on and buckle up, because it's really hard to get a direction, and you really need huge stops on this. you know, I've had 2 trades work out, and 2 steps forward, 1 backwards. And it's just, as you can see, when you break it down to the 4-hourly chart, it's not as easy as you would think to trade. It's quite all over the place. So that's where we're at the moment. Yes, we've got an upward bar. It's closed on its high. We're nearly pushing up towards that recent high of around the 1975 mark, which, look, you know, I expect it to come back down from there and retest. I don't know what level it's going to retest at the moment, but we're just hanging in at the moment. So just wait for a pullback and then go and set wide stops with gold. That's all I can say at the moment, because as you can see, the size of the bars are just ginormous.